Welcome to Burn This Podcast. This first episode is with Zach Peterson. Zach's been a really good friend for a long time. His album, A List of Wet Celebrities, comes out this Friday, January 19th, 2024. Please go to the link tree at Burn This Records on Instagram and grab a copy. You're going to love it. His special comes out with 4x3 Comedy next Thursday if you want to see the jokes that you get to hear this week. Enjoy this interview with Zach Peterson. This podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to the Burn This Records podcast. Burn This podcast. Zach, you're my first guest. Which name do you like? What do you think?
WTF.
WTF. Hey, what the fuckers? Hey, burn the records, people. I don't know.
Burners. Share your name with a phone that is thrown away.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking Burning Man fans.
I mean, is that what they're called?
I think so, right? Are they burners?
I'm in Nebraska. They're not allowed here.
I might move to Nebraska. I remember one time I was this is a real LA sentence. I was shooting a sketch in a parking lot, and there was this guy running through the parking lot with a shopping cart full of gallons of water. And I was like, "What's going on, man?" And he's like, "I'm late for Burning Man." He's like, "Oh, the Burning Man water boy. There he is."
And they're very punctual there. I mean, that you wouldn't. It's carefree except for be on time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when the sun is at 2:00, God damn it, you better be where you need to be. Oh my gosh. Thank you for this is funny. This is my first episode of the podcast, which I'm excited to have you on. You're the first album that's coming out on the label.
Oh, wonderful. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Congratulations on being really funny.
Thank you.
You nailed it.
I've tried hard for a long time.
So for people listening, I've known Zach for, oh my God, over a decade easily at this point.
Right.
He's an amazing comic that started in Chicago.
Started in Omaha. I was here for a couple of years.
Okay.
I was in Chicago for about a decade.
Gotcha. All right, cool. I met you in Chicago, and then moved to LA for a while. Worked for Larry Flynt, and
I was there for 10 whole months, and I didn't make it, so I went home.
You had a more LA experience, I think, than a lot of people, though. At least
I can imagine working in Beverly Hills is it was enough,
Yeah.
that was enough of an experience, whatever that experience was.
My first gig out here was in Beverly Hills. Actually, you'll love this. I was a intern for Ghost House Pictures, which is Sam Raimi's company that they did all the Evil Deads with.
Wow.
His producing partner, it's his company. And like the second day of working there, I was like an intern for 6 months there. He opened this closet that was hoarder's closet. He's like, "Here's all my Evil Dead stuff. Can you organize it?"
Yeah.
And I just wept looking through like old 4x6 photo albums and stuff. And I was like, okay, I think I'll stick around for a little bit if this kind of things happen.
That is so cool.
It was rad.
Yeah. At my job, they just had pornography, which is worse.
What were you doing for Larry Flynt?
I was the director of office services. Essentially, I was the office manager for a 10-story building that 4 floors that was owned by Larry Flynt. So, whatever was needed, I was mostly like ordering coffee for the break rooms and made sure everyone had printer ink. Nothing too exciting. It's not exciting at all.
I know. No one talks about how like the actual logistics of how all these fun companies work. It's like, no, it's somebody getting printer ink and coffee. Like you need, this town runs on printer ink, the black gold, all of it.
The most exciting thing that happened was, you remember the movie A Marriage Story?
No, which one's that?
Adam Driver, Scarlett Johansson.
That
was filmed at the executive floor at Hustler. And one day I just got in the elevator and Alan Alda was there. And I was like, what the fuck? All right.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is he also smaller and tanner than you think he would be in real life?
He was exactly,
perfect.
like how, I mean, he wasn't
That's
Hawkeye.
good.
He hasn't been Hawkeye for a while, but he was wasn't he in Meet the Fockers? Yeah. Meet the Fockers Alda.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I was going to say, like, he's of the generation of actor that I think probably looks the way they look. But there's other actors that like I've seen out here, and they're always much smaller and much tanner than I think they actually are going to be. Like I took a improv class with Jerry O'Connell, my improv 101 class, and the entire first class, because you go around and introduce each other to each other, and he's like, "Oh, my name is Jerry. I'm an actor," and we were all like, "Are you fucking with us? Are you actually Jerry O'Connell?" Because he didn't quite like in my head. He's Jerry O'Connell from Scream 2. Like he's like a little bit chubby. Like that's that Sliders guy. Like that's my Jerry. Yep. Yeah, that's my Jerry O'Connell. So seeing him in person, I was like, "You're tan and very thin. What's happened? Are you a lookalike?" Because then if you're a lookalike and you're calling yourself Jerry, that's crazy. And I'm in a room with a crazy person.
right. That's single white female.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Exactly.
I will just take his place. Talented Miss Ripley is probably a more prescient reference of.
No, I like single white female. I like Jerry O'Connell getting single white female.
Not the actor from One Night at McCool's.
Get his ass.
right. Yeah, but I mean, him as a kid in Stand By Me. That's the top Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell. That's the
Gerald.
Guy. He was at that improv class. He was in our final show, and he brought his wife into the green room to meet everybody. He's like, "Hey, everybody, I ever want to meet my wife, Rebecca Romaine. This is my class." And we were all just like, what? Why are we being introduced to this woman? He was very sweet. I mean, it was very funny of him. Just like, I was like, "Oh, you're just such a fun, sweet, just like, I did an improv class. Come meet my class."
That is cool. Someone who has like been in show business for the majority of their life is still stoked on an improv class, a level 1 improv class. That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
When I'm feeling good, I'm all pilled up. Yeah. Anyone else pilled up? Yeah, you gotta get pilled up. It's great. I love being pilled up. It's nice. You know, my whole life I thought I was weird, you know? And I was like, nope, crazy. That's so much better, right? I'd rather be crazy than weird any day. I know a bunch of crazy people. They're great. I don't want to hang out with no weird dude, right? And he can't go to the doctor for being weird. You can't be like, "Doctor, help me, I'm weird." Doctor's gonna be like, "Oh, gross. But you gotta help me, I keep collecting swords." Feeling good. Yeah, I got a bunch of confidence I never had before. I got too much confidence for the Midwest. I got that Midwestern confidence, you know? Yeah, it's where you go to Red Lobster alone and only order biscuits. It's good. That's what you want. You know, and it's weird because, like, I don't know about you, but I was always told to push my feelings down, be strong for others, right? I was always told growing up, be a lighthouse. Shine a light on others and, you know, guide them, but never focus on yourself. And what that creates is a bunch of emotionally repressed adults who can't decide where to eat. You ever try to decide where to eat with a bunch of Midwestern men? It's impossible. Just a bunch of dudes in a room avoiding eye contact going, "Fucking, I don't care." Like, you know, like, whatever's okay with you is fine. I'm sorry for being alive, you know. What I'm saying is if Marilyn Manson was from the Midwest, he removed 2 of his ribs to suck other people's dicks. Everyone get that? All right, some people don't. I don't know if it's dated or not. That's all we talked about in high school. Right? You're that guy who removed his ribs? Yeah. But I guess the oral tradition is dying, so. Okay.
You're in Omaha now, which is where your native land. You're back.
Right.
It's pretty sick. What is the name of your podcast? I always forget the name of it, but I love the concept of it a lot.
It's called No Coast Comedy Club. It's essentially the exploration of how people exist as comedians outside of New York and Los Angeles, places with ecosystems for comedians,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you're in, Champaign, Illinois, or Lafayette, Louisiana, how do you do comedy? What does that look like? How does that differ from any place else? Is there anything unique about it? And I think I've had some really cool episodes, I think, and just I'm really informative, and seeing how people do it around the country and how it varies from place to place.
Yeah. I love seeing the way other scenes, like their scenes handle themselves. And like, I mean, I've lived in LA for, oh my God, has it been 18 years this year?
Wow.
I actually, yesterday was 18 years in LA. I love doing stand up in other cities. I barely do comedy here at all. Like I just happen to live here. I have a home here, like all that stuff. But like, and my community is here. But a lot of towns you can make money in other cities, and like I kind of like a small scene in a lot of ways
Right.
better because you are a little bit more invested in growing it together and not having like the bullshit of the industry and stuff around. I mean, like you run awesome shows in Omaha, and like you've got Lincoln and like Denver are both like pretty close by, and and
Right.
obviously you can tour. It's a lot easier to start getting towards cities than in LA too, because here it's like we got Phoenix,
Right.
next closest city. I've never been to Phoenix and not seen a fist fight, so
Yeah, me too.
love right. It's like there's something about the desert, like fries. Love the people of Phoenix that have come to our shows, but everybody else, you're crazy as fuck.
Yeah, I saw one in an arcade bar.
Oh man,
were we at Bird City that same year?
Yeah. Yes, that's one of the fist fights I've seen.
Right, and it's like, this is for nerds. This is a nerd place. Like, but people are still fist fighting. That's Odd Town.
Yeah, not what you would expect.
Yeah, the West Coast. I mean, from doing my podcast, the West Coast, like that's what everyone's complaint mostly is. Like, hey, I can't go anywhere. Like, I am here. Like, I did an episode on Phoenix, and they're like, yeah, can't go anywhere. It's nice to be near LA, but I can't do anything. Same thing with even Denver. It's like, where can they go? Up to Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Oh yeah,
and then Omaha, like and that's like they're like, that's not great. But but Albuquerque, that's another 8 hours. So yeah, here, I mean, I have Des Moines, Kansas City, Sioux Falls, Lincoln, Sioux City, which is like a pretty small place, but there's a couple of guys up there that do stuff and get me up there fairly regularly. And then all the small town stuff.
Yeah.
When I was in Los Angeles, it was so difficult to get on stage. And I really love stand-up comedy. I really love being on stage. Stage time is very important to me, and the quality of stage time is important to me too.
Yeah.
And LA, I mean, it seems very feast or famine, whether you have as much stage time as you want because you're at the Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, or whatever, or it's like it's very intermittent and it's hard to do consistently.
Yeah. I mean, that's accurate. It's whatever. It's where I live, but I leave a lot, and that's why I like it.
Right. I mean, it's a for me and my taste, and like I have nothing else going on, like I mean, like
you have
I don't
plenty going on. You have plenty going on. It's just all it's just stand up. You're an actual true stand up. You're not like trying to get in a room or like act. You're not trying to be the next Flow. Although I would like you have the voice of an insurance salesman, I think, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the very Willie Loman vibes.
Yes. Yeah. But like there's no point where he's like happy in the play, is there? But like the Willie Loman, that's like a flashback of that play. Like you're him with hope in your eyes. You're
right. Willie Loman that sold enough and felt good about selling.
Yeah, exactly. Him at the top. I think so. So you recorded this album last year, A List of Wet Celebrities. It's your second.
Yes. Second album. Recorded at the Funny Bone. Last time I did at the Reverb, which is like a small not punk, like small music venue, and I had like 40 people in there. It sounded good, but this one was like hundreds, and like it feels really cool. It sounds really cool. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, you should be, dude. It's really, really fun. And like I was listening to it this morning, and just you just make me laugh. And
thank you.
As a comic, to a comic, that is one of the best compliments I think I can give.
Thank you. Yeah.
Genuinely do make me laugh still.
I appreciate it. It's fun. Like I mean, I feel as though stand-up comedy is always like there's always like there's always waves and what's the word, fads of
Mhm.
like what is comedy. When I got in, it was very everyone wanted to be like a Kinane,
Yeah, yeah,
which and
yeah,
like I probably was one of those people, if
yeah.
I'm being completely honest. And now it's fucking everyone wants to be. Fucking, I don't want to talk shit about people,
A crowd
but
work person
a
that
crowd
is
work
like
person,
a hype beast crowd work person.
right, or a
Yeah.
roast comedian, or
Yeah.
just sort of not exactly the energy that I like, um, and I'm really sort of happy that I was able to maintain like who I am
Yeah.
on this one and being consistent in my comedy doing that. And there seems to still be a place for it, which is really exciting and really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that it's like we've talked a little bit about this before, where it's like there is this, we're part of this like working middle class of comedy where it's
Mhm.
like, no one's famous. That would be amazing if that happened. But it's like, I think it's like we're both punk kids. We came up like in punk scenes and stuff where it's
Right,
like
right.
that to me has always been this like, that's the level of where I consider success of like, all right, cool. I can like people come out and see me. I fill rooms. My bills are paid. I do
Hmm.
well. This is great.
Yeah,
I'm not going, I mean, a $10 million Netflix special would be great, but I'm not mean enough for that. I don't think,
right, right,
and
right.
I'm okay with that.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. From Omaha, I have to sort of be okay with what I have and
Yeah.
sort of not anticipate that it grows a whole heck of a lot. I know the internet's a tool, but I don't know how to use it, if I'm being honest. Uh, so, I mean, hopefully something, like I get some growth out of this, but like I'm really content with like where I'm at
Mhm.
and how I live in Omaha because it's Omaha and everything is $4. I
Yeah.
can like you can see all the crap behind me. Like I can sell stuff on eBay
Mhm.
and do stand-up comedy and teach comedy and be fine. You know,
Yeah.
and like that's all I need. I mean fame and fortune be fantastic, but I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to like what I have is not worth giving up for the possibility of that.
Absolutely. Well, and it's also like, I mean, how many famous people do we know that are deeply unhappy too? I think if
Yeah,
like
that's
you
very
can
true.
find a way to be artistically fulfilled and happy with your life, I mean
Hmm.
that's winning more than anything,
Yeah,
you know.
I suppose that's true. I mean, it's a needle to thread. It's difficult to do, and I struggle like everyone else, but I feel more grounded here than other places that I've been because I've been around, and you know, Chicago's nice, and I wouldn't mind going back there for extended amounts of time, but it's
Yeah.
it's nice to it's nice to have a yard.
Yeah. No, I feel that 100%. Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky. Like I live in a trailer park out here in LA, so I've got like my
Hmm.
own house. I don't share walls. I've got like a little yard in the back, and it's just very peaceful. And I know all my neighbors, and
Right.
it's like part of a community that isn't part of comedy either. It's like
Yeah.
and that is nice to find things that ground you. I think is really
Right.
important.
Well, you like hacked the matrix. You like, all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
like issues that people have with moving to the coast and like living. You're just like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Here's this other thing that I
Yeah.
completely did. That
Yeah.
rules.
It's weird. I'm like a homeowner. I bought my house for the price of a nice car.
That
it's
rules. That's so
it's
cool.
it's
Yeah.
pretty sick. And I'm just always like, I'll talk to people about renting other places or whatever, and I'm like, mine's still cheaper. Well,
Yeah.
I guess I'm stuck here as long as I've got a good situation going on,
Right. Right.
which is
That
great.
rules. Hmm.
Yeah, it's fun.
We've been goofing off. It's time to get serious. Who's still buying Blu-rays? Still buying Blu-rays? Hell yeah, hell yeah. What's the last Blu-ray you bought? Well, you can say anything and I'll believe you. You know what I mean? No, you didn't. I watched you. Oh, Grand Budapest Hotel. That's fine, but not funny. So I'm gonna ignore it. Your friends make fun of you for your DVD collection?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No one talks about it, but if you have a DVD collection, your friends are mean. My friends go, whoa, what's that on all your shelves? You know that's trash, right? That's trash. I'm like, what else am I supposed to put on my shelves? I don't have a family. What am I supposed to put on my shelves? Pictures of my Blu-rays? That's weird. And you can't get rid of them. You ever tried to sell your DVDs, your Blu-rays, your video games, your books? It's humiliating. Walk into half-price books, you're like, oh, $1,000 of my money, 1,000 hours of my time. How much you gonna give me? They're like, $8. Like, I fucking hate you. I'm so angry right now. Oh boy. What it feels like you go play skee ball. You go to an arcade and you play skee ball for a while. You got a bunch of tickets. You're like, oh, I got so many tickets. I'm gonna buy so much crap with these tickets. Oh, I got so many tickets. It's gonna be my arcade. I have so many tickets. Then you walk up to the counter and they're like, well, you can have a Jolly Rancher, you know, or just a picture of someone beating the shit out of your dad. This arcade sucks.
So, who's your favorite wet celebrity?
My favorite wet celebrity. In the joke, I mentioned, what do you call it? Jason Statham and Jared Leto.
Very wet.
Yeah, because I thought Jason Statham was the go-to wet celebrity because he always glimmers to me. He always looks like he just got a shower or just went for a run.
Yeah.
You know, like but people weren't having that. And I had to find a celebrity that everyone could agree on as being wet, which was a harder task than anticipated. And it was Jared. Yeah. I thought people would just take my word for it. But Jared Leto is what everyone seems to agree on, you know, and I think it's the stringy hair and just, you know, he probably smells weird.
There's a real wetness. I saw him on TV at I was in a bar in Philly on New Year's Eve with Brian Cook, and we were just hanging out watching and then the TV was in the background. I looked up at one point and 30 Seconds to Mars was playing at Times Square New Year's Eve, and I was like, man, what a horrible place to be in this exact moment in time. Crammed into New Year's Eve watching Jared Leto on stage with this horrible band.
Right.
He had like 30 people on stage. I was like, he brought his cult to back up his band.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's just so much piss in that whole area. It's so much piss everywhere.
Yeah, he saw the polyphonic spree and he was just like, I want that, but for them to be my friends.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Not just friends, but subservient folks. But
yeah.
know, I don't know. It can't be good, whatever the hell's happening.
No, I don't expect it to. I don't trust an actor to lead.
No,
like the point of the job is to follow. The whole point of the job
is to be directed.
Yeah, exactly.
I posted about the record today, and someone's like, "Oh, you have to be talking about Danny DeVito." It's like, that's a good one.
Oh,
yeah, that's a good wet celebrity.
That is a good wet celebrity because I think everyone has that scene where he's covered in a hand sanitizer, like burned into their retinas.
Right,
he's just crawling across the ground, just going pure. Yeah. I quote that often.
yeah, that, and he's the penguin.
Oh,
the
yeah,
penguin's a
deeply
Arctic
wet.
Bird. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe the wettest villain.
That's a good call.
Yeah, if we're talking about, I mean, I feel like villains are more wet than heroes.
Wow. Okay.
I think, right?
I'm thinking this is a new thought to me, and I'm enjoying it. So, but I want to be thoughtful about it.
Well,
yeah.
I'm thinking
you have some wet heroes. You have the Aquamans. You have Namor the Submariner. You also have some wet villains, but
I guess to me, like, I'm trying to think. Well, I guess I'm trying to not include things like Alien as a villain because Alien is the wettest alien, I think.
Yeah, well, that joke is mostly about going to the movies and seeing Alien and being like, the alien's too fucking wet. I can't enjoy this movie.
Exactly. It's like, what's an appropriate amount? An appropriate amount of moisture.
Right. Yeah.
To get the villain across.
Yeah. You think of like Martin Sheen from Apocalypse Now. I mean, he's he's a bad guy and he's all wet, you know, he's in the bog and you don't want that.
Yeah. Oh, I saw a TikTok video earlier of a bunch of guys just doing backflips in a bog and it just felt disrespectful to what a bog can do.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't trust
spirits.
Yeah, I don't trust this.
Swamps scare the hell out of me.
Mm-mm.
I've in my travels, I have noticed that no matter where I go, the nature of that place is terrifying to me because the Midwestern nature is essentially rabbits, deer, and highways. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like what nature looks like. And then if there's any place with a real ecosystem, with like a desert or like the Everglades, it is absolutely horrifying. And I don't know how people live there.
Especially Florida, especially terrifies me. Just
Right.
there could be a pipe. I saw a video, and I think it actually was in like a country in South America, but it felt like Florida, where the ceiling collapsed, and there were three giant pythons that fell out of the ceiling. And I
Right.
just said, the pythons have that house now. No, you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
You could never sleep there again.
Yeah.
If you
Those
knew.
those are God's warning signs. Just keep out.
Yeah, if you just knew that there could be a giant snake, a 30-foot long snake just in your walls at any
Hmm.
point, I don't know how
Hmm.
you'd ever sleep again.
Right.
That'd
Right.
be it.
Yeah. I mean, snakes are terrible. There's no poisonous snakes here.
Oof.
That's good.
Yeah, no, that's very good.
Hmm.
Omaha, no poisonous snakes here.
Yeah. But fast food, German fast food. So
Well,
it's perfect.
What
What else
what
you want?
is the German fast food of Omaha?
Runza. It's
Oh,
it's a fast food pierogi. It's awful.
oh,
They
really?
have good
Okay.
burgers. Yeah. I mean, some people really like it. It's literally fucking beef and cabbage baked into a bun. And people are like, good. I'm like, no, it's not. If you come for the Berkshire Hathaway meeting, like when that happens,
Mhm.
the Warren Buffett is his shareholders meeting.
Yeah.
Like you see all these people in suits trying it and acting like it's good, and you're like, you're so full of shit. But it's an awful dish. But their burgers are great because it's locally sourced beef and it's the best. We got good beef out here.
Oh yeah. I mean, nobody can't not say that about Nebraska.
Right. And you come from a place that no one cares about when you have like pride in things that no one else cares about. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, we got some good beef. And everyone's like, no, I don't give a shit where my beef comes from. Or College
Yeah.
World Series. No one's ever said anything about that outside of the state of Nebraska.
That's okay. I've driven past the Pennsylvania has the Little League World Series, and there's a lot of statues of children playing baseball
Right.
in central Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they got. That's
Yeah.
their one thing. There's a place called Brandon, Iowa that has the world's largest frying pan. Like,
I'd like to see that. I love those people, the people that like have dedicated their lives to just being the biggest or best absurdity that
right.
is like I love that I love romanticizing that drive to me of just like being like, nope, this is it. I'm dedicating some part of my
Yeah.
life to this.
I gotta be the best at something, and here's something that no one else has tried.
Yeah.
There's the Buddy Holly plane crash site. I think it's around like Storm Lake or Clear Lake, Iowa,
Mhm.
where it's just a field, and on the fence post is a giant pair of glasses, and it's like, oh, cool. Like,
Sweet.
yeah,
That's where that happens.
no Big Bopper, no Richie Valens, just a pair of glasses.
Mm-hmm. I've been to the Gerald Ford birthplace, which is
Mhm.
in Omaha, and
Yeah.
I loved it because there's not a single good photo of that man.
Yeah.
Every picture of him in his like home, in his birthplace, it's just him like it's between photos or his eyes closed or tongues out.
Mhm.
Just it was really I found it very charming. I was like, man, this man just couldn't take a photo. And
Yeah.
now
Yeah,
he's
like
dead. So that's just it. We're out.
Yeah, he was just a football player that sort of fell ass backwards into politics. And they became president because Nixon had to resign,
Yeah.
or so, and he's like, well, fuck, I guess I'm president. And like he stirred for like 2 years. Then everyone's like, no, we don't want you anymore. And he was like, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
like
Probably like one of the least controversial, probably if you're looking at the scale of damage that an American president can do, maybe our nation's best president because he didn't have time.
Ineffective.
Very ineffective. Like the best thing we can have is an ineffective president.
That's right. Yeah. He's like if Mike Pence never found religion.
Yeah.
He's just a blank slate that walks around.
Did he go back to Omaha after he served? Do you don't know much about him at all, or?
Ford.
Yeah.
He was in Nebraska for literally 12 hours and before he went back to Michigan, where
Oh.
he's huge in Michigan, and that's where like his presidential library is. He played football at the University of Michigan, and it was
Mm.
like a big deal. And so yeah, he was just born here, but he left quickly.
Whoa.
But Malcolm X was born here. There's no birth site for him. I wonder why. And
Interesting.
yeah, and I mean, he left within the first. I mean, he was a child. He was like a year or two, but we're a good place to move away from.
And move back to eventually. Like,
Yeah, eventually.
do you regret having left, or are you like happy you left for a while, or like?
Oh, I regret moving from Omaha, moving
Yeah,
away from
yeah,
Omaha. Oh,
yeah,
absolutely not. Like
yeah, yeah.
I'm very happy that I left. I mean, it's I feel that everyone should move at least once. You really
Yeah.
have to change your perspective. It's so easy to sort of get pigeonholed into this idea of what around you is reality for everyone. And I think that's a damaging point of view.
I think it's like something that also is touring comics that I feel like so much more empathetic ever having toured the country, at least. Where I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, I like have met and seen people in all walks of life and like understood how we're the same and different, and like
Right.
can understand why we're different in ways we are, and in
Yeah.
ways I don't think I would have if I just stayed in one place.
Yeah. It's so wild that like, the Florida Everglades and then Billings, Montana is the same country.
Yeah.
It's I mean, and we're supposed to be exactly the same and have the exact viewpoints on everything. I mean, there's no universal like truth of what like living in this country is like. And
Yeah.
it's so like diverse. And I mean, that's the coolest part about, America. Man, I don't want to like come off as sounding like,
I
oh, but
know, I know. I wish there was like a way that we could say America and not make it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like I studied history in college, and I'm not like as much as I into it as I was, but I think the geography and the history and it sort of just being like a landing spot for everyone
Mhm.
is the thing that makes it the coolest thing, and just sort of seeing how that has progressed from the original idea into this. I mean, it's not the melting pot, but the salad bowl
Mhm.
that is. I think that's the neatest part about traveling, is just sort of seeing how it's manifested itself.
Yeah.
After all this history, good and bad.
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just sometimes you'll just be at like a monster truck rally or something in like a
Right.
weird field somewhere, and you're like, I am I am proud I'm from this.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those places. Like, I mean, like touring with comedy will take you places that you never thought you wanted to go, or
Yeah.
like you never
Yep.
thought that any even existed, and then you're there and you're just like, holy shit, look where I stumbled upon.
Hmm.
Like I was at a reggae bar in Beckley, West Virginia, and and it's like, man, this is not something that I ever anticipated in being. But
Yeah.
here I am, and what an interesting sort of life to live and get to experience all these strange places.
Totally, totally. And I'm sure like the people that hang out at the reggae bar in fucking West Virginia are like
Right.
great. Because it's like,
Yeah.
oh man, you found your subculture here. Like I love, you still were
Right.
like, no, I'm doing this.
And honestly, I don't think that anyone in this town is into reggae, but it's the only bar. So they're just like, fucking, I guess I'm going to go hang out by the mural of Bob Marley.
What a
You know?
chill tyrant of a bar owner to be like,
Right.
no, this is this is a reggae bar. You will tolerate it.
Right. Right.
I love it.
Or what about when we were in Billings and we went to that abandoned weird mall food court, and it
Oh
had peanut
yeah.
butter and jelly pizza, and we're like, what the fuck is this? Did we like wander into like the places in between being?
Oh, 100%. There are places that you're like, am I dreaming a weird dream? Just
Right, right.
pinch me. Am I alive?
Yeah. And you couldn't find that place if you were trying.
No.
You just wound up there.
Yeah, and next to beautiful mountains, next to like insane, crazy, beautiful mountains, there's just like a peanut butter and jelly pizza, and you're like, well, I guess it sticks to your insides while you're traversing.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, what the fuck is happening?
And like, who's getting this? You know what I mean? Like, who is down for peanut butter and jelly pizza?
Right.
as an adult. Like I could see up until I graduated high school, I probably would have been like, yeah, I like the peanut butter and jelly pizza.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like once you get, once you can drive to anywhere that's not that.
Yeah, it's a challenge food for people who don't want to eat a lot. It's like, eat this. It's not great, but you become satiated on it. And you're like, that's a challenge.
Man, maybe I predict that it might become a TikTok trend of some kind this year. I could see it's stupid enough that I could see people being like, "Oh, we're gonna do peanut butter and jelly pizza." It's like,
Yeah,
did you see any of the videos of people like crying by getting their giant Stanley cups
I
for
didn't.
have you seen this trend where like
I
like
know.
the big
Yeah.
Stanley, which is a great cup.
Right.
There's compilation videos of just children weeping with joy from getting their giant
So weird. I
Stanley
don't
cups.
get it.
I read somewhere that like they went from making $73 million a year to $750 million a year
Wow.
this year because of
Wild.
this weird TikTok trend of like kids wanting to drink their giant water cups.
So, do you know the Mormon connection to the Stanley Cups?
No, what's the Mormon
Like, I mean,
connection?
they can't have hot drinks, and so a lot of the times they'll make cold drinks, and they have to remain cold the whole day. And so like they sort of like get into these cups, and Stanley cups were sort of what they went into, and it became like sort of emanated from there, from what I understand. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I heard, that was a TikTok I heard, and I was like, okay, that's true. So I don't know.
No, I believe everything I've heard on TikTok. So I take that fully as fact.
Right.
Yeah, man, that's so funny. I would love it if this is like the Mormon church just like low key trying to convert people over
Right.
time. Well,
You
they
already
got
got
the
the cup.
Stanleys. You're there. You're basically there. That's good.
Right.
Yeah. What's your favorite track on the album?
I like my jokes that really I feel as though like this is really funny, and I gotta sort out a way to make it funny for everyone else.
Yeah.
So and the wet celebrity and movie theater stuff, like the wet alien, that's
Yeah.
stuff that I'm like, that is stuff that I legitimately found funny, and like now I have to for a force onto everyone else and see how I can make other people agree, and I did it. So
Hell yeah.
that's my favorite one, the wet alien, because yeah, that just
it's
sort of
so
that was a rant that I had. I yelled at people about, and everyone's like, "That's not." No one wants to hear that, and I'm like, "Well, I want to say it."
Yeah, I'm gonna say it over and over again until people want to say it. That I'm gonna commit it to a recording forever. God damn it! You be your own reggae bar in West Virginia, man. Just be find that within yourself. That's the move.
Yeah, we should all be so lucky to have our own reggae bar in a coal mining town.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, where can everybody find you? And the album's coming out this Friday. The special, the 4x3 comedy, is coming out on the 25th of January. Where can people find you online to follow up and tell you how much they love it?
Oh, thank you. The social media stuff for TikTok and Instagram, which I guess are the two ones I should care about, is King of the River Peterson. And then my website, I'm constantly on the road. My website with all my dates is museumofuglyfathers.com or zachpetersoncomedy.com.
I didn't know museumofuglyfathers.com. That's so fucking good.
that was one where Meredith Ketchel from Chicago designed my website, and she's like, "You have an extra domain name?" I'm like, "Let's make it stupid." And then that's what we came up with. There's no other reason behind it.
Man, my first website in college when I had to learn how to make websites in this one class is I made a hotOldDeadGuys.com, and then it was just a bunch of presidents.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was good as all. Yeah. Well, thanks, Zach. We're going to go out on one of your tracks, and everybody go buy a Zach album, listen to it, go watch the special, and we'll catch you next time.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
I just like movies. I just want to have the movies that I like around me. I like physical media, you know? Like I just like movies, but I'm not one of those people that says they're into film. You know, that guy's like, I'm into film. It's like, no, you're into movies. You just think you like the right ones. If they say they're into film, they'll say something more pretentious like, I go to the dentist. Or the lady will have the Gatorade. Real pretentious stuff. Not smart enough to be into film. I went and saw a movie with my friend who's into film. I went and saw that movie Alien. You know the movie Alien? The movie about the alien? I went and saw that movie, and at the end, my friend was like, so what do you think the themes were? What do you think the director was trying to say? I go, man, I don't know. Why the fuck was that alien so wet? Have you seen that movie? Just wet the whole time. They don't explain it. It's just dripping on everything. And I Googled it. Space ain't wet. Same thing with Jared Leto. That guy seems wet for no reason. Right? Yeah, real wet. Jason Statham, moist. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I know some of you aren't on board in this. That's fine, but this is the rest of my set, all right? Just a list of wet celebrities. Or as I call them, my damp daddies and my moist boys.